For years, kids in our state's foster care system have been sleeping in office buildings. And for years, everyone has agreed that's unacceptable. It causes more chaos in the child's life and requires employees work 24-hour shifts. So how do kids end up in an office, and what needs to change to keep it from happening anymore? In a KRQE investigation, Ann Perret shares CYFD says it may finally have a solution.
There's a lot of love inside the Warrens' home. Love they've extended throughout the last 2 years to more than 24 kids, from newborn to 17 years old.
I just feel like it's what we're supposed to do. And even whenever we talked about closing our house, we end up getting a call and we're like, okay, here we go again. Like, we can't close our house. They need us.
Tiffany and James Warren are currently caring for a baby girl, and they just adopted their now 2-year-old son, who they began fostering when he was in the NICU. The state asked we blur the kids to protect them. They joined the couple's 2 older biological kids, a son and daughter doctors initially told them they'd never be able to have.
The more that we give, I feel like the more that we're given. So I feel like it's our calling.
A calling they began fulfilling after moving to New Mexico a few years ago. The Warrens connected with the Children, Youth, and Families Department, CYFD, to become foster parents.
It was just interviews and checking our house, getting our house ready, baby-proofing the house, making sure everything is safe, making sure that we're safe and that we're okay to take kids in. And then eventually we finally got blessed, and the day of or day after we got our first?
It was like the day of.
Which only speaks to the critical need for foster parents in both the long and short term. Sometimes kids just need placement for a week or weekend. Tiffany says they've received that call when a child has no other place to sleep but a CYFD office building.
We'll figure something out, because they're people. I wouldn't want to sleep on the floor in an office, especially after my whole world's been turned upside down.
CYFD did want us to point out kids aren't sleeping on the floor. They have beds for them in these offices. Regardless, the state agency admits it's still not okay. Even more so because it turns out the kids who end up living in these offices are often dealing with behavioral or mental health issues on top of the trauma that led them into the foster care system.
They need more attention.
For some of these kids, CYFD Secretary Teresa Casados tells me they've requested placement in a TFC, or therapeutic foster care, but
they'll look at all the families they have to see if they have a match. And, you know, I can say over the last year we had sent out 60 packets, and I think 50 of them were rejected.
Rejected because, Casados says, a TFC only takes kids in need of intensive therapeutic or medical treatment. And while these kids need some extra care, it doesn't rise to that level, leaving them with nowhere to stay except an office. So far in 2025, CYFD offices in 16 counties have housed kids. These photos we obtained from CYFD reveal what some of those makeshift living spaces look like. Data provided by the state agency shows the number of office stays has doubled each year, beginning in 2022, with 131 office stays that year, 235 in 2023, and then 510 in 2024. Many of those numbers reflecting the same child staying more than once. And the data reveals kids are staying there longer, from an average 4-day stay in 2022 to an average of 11 days in 2024.
There may always be some sort of a need, but whatever we can do to minimize that, I think is really needed.
Casados became the cabinet secretary in 2023, 3.5 years after the state entered into the Kevin S. settlement agreement, which legally requires an end to office stays. And now, in 2025, she believes CYFD has the solution.
It's something that, you know, we've been working on for a while. It's not just all of a sudden we need to end this.
Modeled after a similar program in Oklahoma, CYFD created Foster Care Plus.
The enhanced foster care will be like, it's a child who really doesn't need those intensive therapeutic treatments, but needs more than just a regular foster care. So, maybe more therapy, maybe more one-on-one time with the family, maybe not other kids in their environment, right? Maybe they have special needs at school that can't be met.
The state agency is only recruiting veteran foster parents to participate right now, asking them to take in just one kid at a time.
So it's not like we're increasing the number of homes, but we're taking some of those families who have had more experience in dealing with kids with higher levels of need, and then really kind of doing wraparound services around them.
Like more check-ins from CYFD staff, additional months-long training on both de-escalation and how to handle specific behaviors, plus
the actual support afterwards, right? Who do I call at 9:30 on a Friday night when my child is really acting out and I have no idea what to do?
So far, CYFD reports 5 families are participating, with 2 kids placed. Casados hopes the impact will be felt by office staff, too. Email records we obtained reveal repeated requests for overtime, a 24-hour shift, to keep an eye on kids living in offices. When no one steps up, that overtime becomes mandatory.
How much longer can that go on?
Well, not much. I mean, it's incredibly hard. Our turnover rate is high, our recruitment is difficult, and the burnout for them is unbelievable.
A problem among foster families, too.
I mean, they really are appreciated. I just don't think that they're filling it.
The Warrens say their home will remain open for as long as they feel called to help.
It's not always easy, but even at the end, like doing all that and dealing with all the stuff that we've had to deal with, we would do it again, and we would choose all these kids again because they all need love and we have so much to give. Why not?
Ann Perrette, KRQE Investigates.
CYFD is focused on getting Bernalillo and Chavez County foster families involved in the program right now. The secretary says that's where the highest number of kids in state custody live. If kids outside of those counties need a foster care plus home, Casados says they'll relocate them.